12 wickets fell on the first day of the LV County Championship match between Somerset and high-flying Sussex in Taunton, but then Michael Yardy struck a brilliant undefeated 94 to put his side in complete control. Marcus Trescothick won the toss and batted, only to find his side 2 down in the first 11 balls. He himself was out to the second delivery of the match, nicking a brute of a delivery from James Anyon behind to complete a hat-trick of ducks since Friday night. Many people may have believed that Nick Compton should have been netting in Nottingham ahead of the first test, but instead he was also back in the pavilion before he'd scored, edging his 5th ball from Steve McGoffin to Chris Jordan. Only in May, Somerset lost by an innings and plenty in just 4 sessions to Sussex, and so there may have been plenty strapping their pads on, even though James Hildreth tried to restore some confidence for the home team. But still, on an unusually green pitch for Taunton, the home side found themselves on 33 for 3 when Elviro Peterson nicked McGoffin behind as the big Aussie continued to torment Somerset after taking 12 for 31 in that game in Horsham. McGoffin found Hildreth a tougher nut to crack, and how thankful was Somerset for that bit of news. Hildreth played some terrific shots to start to lead the recovery in partnership with Craig Keyswetter, back in the side as the County's wicketkeeper for this match. Hildreth eased his way to a quality half-century, which was made off only 52 balls, this being his 8th boundary. He was dominating the scoring at this stage and looked set for a big score in what has been an up-and-down season for him thus far. This innings was certainly part of the up, but having got to 66 by hitting Jordan for a couple more boundaries, he gave the bowler a wicket with a slightly loose drive. Joss Butler then came in, struck his first ball to the fence and then soon departed, a bottom edge off Anyon seeing the back of him for 11 with a total on 113 for 5. And that became 133 for 6 when Peter Trigo crashed a fierce drive straight to Rory Hamilton-Brown after making 10. McGoffin then returned to the action to get shot of Craig Macheda, leaving it to Keyswetter and Alfonso Thomas to try to get their side to a decent total. Keyswetter has missed a large part of this 4-day summer through injury, and he looked determined to make up for that lost time with some cracking strokes. While Thomas also never missed the opportunity to score as Somerset moved towards 200 for what could yet be a valuable batting bonus point come the end of the season. They are not out of the relegation woods just yet, in spite of a win at Derby in their last match, so they would have been thrilled with Keyswetter's 50, which was reached with successive boundaries off Jordan. That took the keeper's boundary count to 8 in an innings thus far lasting 101 balls. No run came off his next delivery, and then he took on a suicidal single to short mid-on, where Anyon slid in to complete the gift of a run-out. Keyswetter was gone at 204 for 8, and Thomas followed him 7 overs later on 33 as he gave McGoffin his 16th wicket in 3 innings against Somerset this season, with a top-edge slog which ended up in Jordan's hands, running back from the slips. Jordan then put Steve Kirby on the deck with a fast Yorker, something that the batsman I'm sure will remember if he gets the chance to bowl at Jordan later. That should be fun. Somerset were helped by a decent last wicket stand which involved Kirby, although the runs were mostly scored by Jamie Overton, who had a thrash and made 21. But he was then last man out as the home side were dismissed for 244, something they responded to well with the ball as Overton had Luke Wells held by Hildreth in the 4th over of the reply. The day's 12th wicket followed not long after tea, Chris Nash nicking Kirby behind to leave Sussex on 8 for 2 and in a spot of bother. Yardy, though, simply ignored all of the troubles the majority of the other batsmen had faced during the day and came out in an ultra-positive mood, striking a whole host of boundaries in what was a scintillating knock, the kind of which his talent suggests he possesses. His timing in particular was exemplary as he picked off all of the bowlers, some of whom were especially expensive. At times it looked as if Yardy had forgotten that he was not decked out in his T20 kit. He was magnificently supported by Matt Machin, another left-hander who took on every opportunity to score, as the likes of Trigo and Thomas were hit for more than 8 runs per over, as Trescothick suddenly failed to keep any form of control on the rapid scoring. When this pair came together, there were only 8 runs on the board after 7 overs, yet they brought up the 100 in just the 18th over, by the end of which Yardy had also taken on Macheda, thumping him for 2 more 4s, and then this 3, which took him to an exhilarating half-century off only 40 balls, with 10 sumptuous boundaries included. It was such an innings that in a flash he was taking the game away from the hosts. Indeed, at one point, 113 runs were scored off only 12 overs. His boundary count was soon becoming just a little ridiculous. Trigo went for 2 more in the next over, and that was followed by an over from Thomas, in which Yardy struck 3 more back-to-back-to-back 4s to take him into the 70s off just 50 deliveries. He'd raced on to 79 by the time that Machen also got to his excellent 50. His was slow by comparison, but by no means sluggish. Indeed, he'd needed just 56 balls for his. Both innings were filled with boundaries. By the end of the day, this pair had found the rope 27 times in their 26 overs together. Yardy, incredibly, needs only 6 more for his second ton of the summer, and he's only faced 79 balls. While Machen ended the day on 58, only the third 50 of his short career, in which this was only his 10th first-class match. Somerset need to end this stand early on the second morning, which will start with Sussex on 174 for 2 of only 33 overs, and that means that they trail by only 70 runs.